The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sciforror Film Podcast. I am joined in this episode by Russell Emanuel, who we talked to and we reviewed his film Staycation. It's also known as Apocalypse Death Party. How you doing, Russ? You all right?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Good.
I've noticed on social media that Staycation is still getting lots of awards and plaudits and all sorts of things from all over the place.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I'm very grateful to your site, to the Romford Horror Festival, to just everybody. So yeah, we just won at the Screaming Ostrich Film Festival for Best Feature. So yeah, was very grateful. Very
And
grateful.
is that now out on
Yeah.
physical media and streaming?
Yeah, you could go to Amazon Prime. You can purchase it. Again, it's under the title Apocalypse Death Party, as you mentioned.
Okay.
It's streaming on Fandango. So we're up on Rotten Tomatoes also. Our distributor, Desktop Entertainment, subsidiary of Twin Engines Global, they've been doing all the marketing and the publicity. But yeah, it's popped up there. There's a link to Fandango from there if you want to see the film. So
Cool.
yeah, it's up there.
And can you actually buy it on Blu-ray or DVD or?
Yeah, Amazon. When I say Amazon Prime, I apologize. I don't mean the streaming Amazon
Oh,
Prime.
right.
I
Okay.
physical DVD. Yeah, and you can hear me talk also as a audio commentary if you like my voice.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, there's a lot of bonus features that you could see on there, like behind the scenes videos,
Cool.
tie-in
Sounds great.
films. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear it's going well.
No, thank you.
Right. Okay. This week we are doing science fiction. Again, as usual, we have two short films and a feature film. So we'll start off with the first short film, which is from 2025, and this is a film called The Patriarch.
Yeah.
This is the director for this is Chris Rass. The cast is Kyle Lovett. And the synopsis on this says the crew of the Patriarch expect to find an empty and uninhabitable planet. What they found was a lot worse. What did you think?
Well, yeah, I think it's visually stunning. I may be wrong about this, but I suspect it may be AI
Yeah,
created.
I thought that. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if it was AI or it's either AI or very good CGI.
Oh, it's very good. I mean, I think one thing that gave it away for me is the main actor. I wanted him to emote and talk, and he really wasn't. And I've
No,
noticed that in AI films, maybe they just can't do that very well. I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
You see, I'm not sure whether he was AI or whether
Yeah,
because
I wasn't sure
everything.
either.
I think
Yeah.
everything else might be AI generated, and then it's done on a green screen. Because there were a few bits where I kind of got the impression that he was in front of
Real,
some
right?
kind of
Because it was in the
backdrop.
credits. I was looking at the credits. I'm going, okay, I guess he is real. But the thing is, I've seen some AI films and they don't really emote
Yeah,
the
yeah, I know what you
actor
mean.
themselves, you know. But it
So
is visually stunning. The sound was amazing. I loved it. I just wish it
yeah,
was more than just a voiceover.
yes, that was the only problem for me. There wasn't any react acting as such. It was a voiceover. I mean, the opening with the space effects and the apocalyptic all landscapes and that were brilliant. They were
Hmm.
all great, and there were some excellent graphics and effects throughout. Really, I thought it was good. But it's an interesting story
Hmm.
to it.
Yeah,
I
well,
thought,
post-apocalyptic, you return to Earth, and I mean, we've seen films like that, of course. A
yeah,
of us.
yeah.
I
I
love
mean,
that kind of story, what happens in a post-apocalypse Earth. I mean, it reminds me of like Foundation Earth.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
when they return, like they're trying to find Earth, right? So what is Earth like in
yeah.
whatever 10,000 years later? I
But I
like
mean,
that.
I agree with you. I think the narration, the voiceover bit was good, but it was all a bit flat and a bit kind of, I don't know. It was almost like watching a documentary, but even then, it wasn't quite. Yeah, it didn't quite have the feelings to it.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a teaser. I guess they want to do more. I mean, obviously, at the very end, you could tell. But I think what's fascinating is AI is such new technology
Yeah,
that it's very interesting. As a filmmaker myself, of course I have my views on AI,
yeah,
but I think, it's going to become more mainstream as, the future
yeah. I
progresses.
think
So,
unfortunately, there's no way around it.
no.
It's definitely gonna have its place.
hmm
How much of a place that is depends on a lot of a lot of things.
Right. I mean, we may end up well, you can say like in Star Trek they have the holodeck.
Yeah,
That is could be like the most superior form of AI, because
yeah,
technically that's what it is.
yeah, yeah. No,
I
yeah,
mean, that's where I guess we're going towards. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, on the whole, I thought this was a pretty good film. As you say, not totally original. We've seen the same sort of thing before, but and it's also not without its flaws, but it's good. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
it's a
I mean,
good
as a
film.
filmmaker myself, I applaud anybody, that makes, especially on the independent level. It's very difficult. So,
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
think it was very fascinating.
It was. It was a very good film, interesting film to watch.
hmm
Um, okay. The second of our two films is two short films is again from 2025. This is a film called I Want to Believe. The writers for this are Andrew Lown and Timothy Moran. And the director was Timothy Moran, and the cast is Andrew Lown. And the synopsis says a man down on his luck hopes to cash in by proving extraterrestrials exist. This is a sort of comedy sci-fi thing, and it is a decent, light-hearted short film. It's got some pretty good effects. They're not brilliant, but they're pretty good, And I like the idea, I like the actual idea of um, and I quite enjoyed it actually, to be honest.
it was I loved it, to be honest. It was funny. I mean, the only downside, there were some shots with the editing. It was like there was one shot on the sky. It was too long.
Yeah,
It just lingered on the sky. And I'm going, okay, why? And then it cut from the sky. I'm going, okay. But other than that, I mean, the actor was great. I mean, it was funny. The call
it
with
was.
the mom,
Yeah,
I thought that was hilarious, that section. And of course, I don't want to give it away, but something pops up at the very end, when he goes to do what? Find Bigfoot, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
And it was
It,
funny. This was a funny film.
it was funny. The only thing for me was, for me, the lighting on it was all a bit too bright.
Yeah, there were some shots that were too bright, and I think some of the pickup shots, he was seeing somebody. There was like surfers or something, or walking on the beach. I'm going, wait a minute, we didn't see anybody.
Yeah,
When he was like with his Kodak camera, which I like, by the way, that Kodak vintage camera he was
it
trying to
was
film.
it was quite good. It was look,
Yeah,
not having sort of like state of the art, equipment, but that was
it
yeah, it was
it
it was
was. I think it was very well done. It was definitely not AI,
no,
not
oh
like the
no,
first film.
definitely not.
It was very classic, very vintage. And I like the music.
Yeah,
So,
it had a good feel to it, and it was a good fun short film to watch.
and I think they were inspired by X-Files
Yeah, yes,
because I want to believe.
I would say so, definitely, definitely. Okay. Right, the feature film. We had a bit of confusion over this because of the link that I found for it. the title of the link on YouTube is not what the title of the film is, which is really confusing.
Yeah, I went to like Mars something. I'm going, is this the right film? But it was the same film. I'm going, okay, this got to be it. But it's Deus. Deus the
Right.
Dark Sphere.
Yeah, Deus the Dark Sphere from 2022.
Mhm.
The writer and director is Steve Stone. The cast of this is Claudia Black, Phil Davis, who lots of people in the UK will recognise because he's been on loads of TV shows over here. Um, David O'Hara, who has also been on quite a few TV shows doing.
And wasn't he Harry Potter?
I think he was in Harry Potter. He was in at least one or two of the Harry Potters,
Yeah.
and he was also in Doctor Who for one episode.
Yeah, he was the recognizable actor for me.
Yeah, Richard Blackwood, who a lot of people in this country will also know because he's been on TV a lot and he used to be a DJ for a while and things like that. Lisa Eichhorn, uh, Charlie McGelkin, Sophia Petite, Branko Tonovic, Crystal Yu, and Monica Kazprzak was the voice of the computer. The synopsis for this says a mysterious black sphere is discovered in the orbit of Mars. Achilles is sent to examine it. The exhausted crew of six awaken from 8 months of hibernation. Um, I mean, I think that it's got some excellent effects for an independent film. I mean, it's not a big budget film, but it kind of looks like it is.
Hmm. Oh, no, no. It was visually stunning and the sound design was amazing.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And the story is an interesting one, but there are definite shades for me that were watching it. There were definite shades of 2001 and even maybe the first Star Trek film, Star Trek the Motion Picture, where
The
they
one
make
with
up
V'ger?
V'ger, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and even a little bit the kind of Avengers Endgame or Infinity War thing with the whole thing of like trying to get rid of a percentage of the
Yeah, which I
population.
found I found that interesting. Actually I was trying to figure out where the film was going. I thought it was going religious. It's fake religious in a sense,
Yeah,
And I don't know, can we give it away what the ending was on this
don't know. I
program,
mean,
But I was surprised, pleasantly surprised. So
yes,
yeah,
it was. I
for me it
mean,
was
yeah, it does have this very, for a while, it does have this very religious thing, and you
mhm,
think, well, where are we going with this? Are we going to actually see God or what's going on? But then, yeah, it turns out to be fake
yeah.
religious thing and that sort of thing. One of my problems with this is the fact that, for me, I don't know if it's partly because of the fact I've seen Richard Blackwood doing stuff that's comedy, but also it all just seemed really kind of, in Alien and things like that, there's always one person who's a bit of a wisecracker who sort of like breaks the atmosphere slightly. And there isn't that in this. It's all just so
Dark.
hard and serious all the way through that it almost makes you laugh.
Yeah, yeah, it's very dark. One thing I gotta note, like unlike the other film, which was too bright, this
Yeah.
one in some scenes was too dark.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
reminded me of like the Batman. Do you remember the Batman where
You,
sometimes you just couldn't see anything,
you
like the
can't see what's going
cinematography? It
on.
was just too dark.
Yeah.
Um,
I sometimes think it's. I've had this idea, especially with horror films, more than science fiction films. But there is this idea that sort of like if you make a film very dark, you don't have to worry too much about the sets or the effects and that sort of thing because people can't see them.
Yeah, I mean, they're channeling film noir from what I guess World War II, to save money. But still, if you can't see anything, what's the point? And
Yeah.
you're right, the characters, they're very dark. Most of them are semi, I guess, one-dimensional. I mean, it really in a film like this, I guess it's not really about character development. It's more about the spectacle of
Yeah.
the
Oh,
visual
yeah.
effects and all that, which I sort of expected.
I think, as I
But
say,
yeah.
the thing for me is kind of like you got that kind of thing of having a small, group of people on a spaceship a long way from home. So I kind of automatically link that to things like Alien.
Hmm.
And the thing with Alien is the fact that every one of those people on that ship had a distinct personality that you could latch onto and that you
Yeah.
saw that they worked together as a team.
Hmm.
This group never quite seemed to do that to me. They're all just kind of really
The same.
serious and flat and
Hmm.
two-dimensional, and it's just a bit like,
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I wanted something a little bit, somebody to just do something to break that atmosphere, and none of them did. Um, but I mean, it is good. It's a much better film than I thought it would be, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, there are some independent films where I have to pause sometimes and I would
Yeah,
get back to it. This one I watched all the way through. So, I mean, it definitely hooked me. I did note that they did not get to the sphere until 36 minutes into the film.
yeah,
It took 36 minutes of a 90-minute film to get to the object they were trying to get to, which I thought, okay, I guess that's fine. They're setting up the characters supposedly in the first act and they get to the sphere in the second act.
yeah,
But still, I wish they got to the sphere sooner.
yeah. I know. I mean, the other thing for me was I think the end was a little bit soft, really, compared to how dark and hard the rest of the film had been. The
Yeah.
end was a bit softer, and I suppose it's left open for a possibility of a sequel, but I don't know if it would be worth
Well,
it.
she's on what? On a return journey for 7 years, and then
Yeah,
then they had this post-credit scene, which I guess they tacked it on to make it funny, but I was
yeah,
like, why? But
yeah. I mean, I don't think a sequel would be worth it. And as you say, the post-credit scene was a bit kind of like it
it's just out there. I
didn't
mean,
really,
I can't repeat it on here, right? It's,
no, yeah.
profanity, but yeah, I was
But it
like,
didn't really mean
okay.
anything, didn't really make any difference to anything. And it
No,
just,
nothing, nothing. It just they added on like as if it was, sometimes in credits, sometimes they put the behind the scenes rolls or something, and it felt like that.
yeah,
They
yeah,
just did
yeah.
it for fun.
But I mean, I think it's a decent film. I mean, for an independent film, I think, as I say, the thing for me was I was really surprised at how professional and how
Oh,
high budget it looked, considering.
it was very well done. I mean, I was very impressed. I mean, all these criticisms I have, they're kind of superfluous. I mean, for me, again, this is not the type of film where it's like character development type film. It's more spectacle. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what I expected. I was thinking like Sunshine or, Event Horizon. You mentioned Alien, hibernation type films.
yeah,
They're in hibernation at the beginning, right?
yeah.
It's a well done film. I mean, it's very well done. I mean,
It
I
is.
don't know what the budget is, but
Yeah,
it
I
could
don't
be in
know.
the
I'm not
seven
sure.
figures for US dollars.
But it's just, I mean, the whole thing where they explode the ship at the end
Mhm.
is that's brilliantly done. It
Mhm.
is really good, well done. I really did think it was good.
And the premise, again, you mentioned, Endgame, Thanos.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's an interesting
yeah,
proposition. It's a philosophical question. What do you do? I mean, I guess I'm not supposed to give away the ending, right? But
no,
anybody who watches it, it's a very philosophical question.
and it
What
kind
do
of
you do when you get to the extreme?
there was a one bit in it where it kind of drew comparisons to kind of like other people who decided to try and get rid of people from the earth by when she turned around and says, see, she says to him, he says about what the problem is and everything, and this is what they've done about that problem. And she said, so this is your final solution.
Hmm.
And I thought, oh, that's a very Nazi sort of statement. It's obviously trying to draw parallels there.
Yeah,
But no, I enjoyed watching it actually. I see. Phil Davis, as I say, has been in lots of TV programs over here. He's been in crime dramas and things like that. And he sometimes plays the police, sometimes plays villains, but he's normally in that kind of role. And he
yeah,
was the guy who was the hologram who was in charge.
yeah.
Uh, Richard Blackwood, the first thing I ever saw him in was a bizarre sitcom where he had been killed in a road accident, and he had been taken by death. But he wasn't supposed to have been taken by death. He was supposed to have survived. So death is told he's got to put him back on Earth,
Yeah.
but he's in limbo, so he doesn't get any older, but he can't taste anything when he eats it. Nothing has any flavor, and
Yeah.
he can't get any kind of emotional feeling towards women. And he was a bit of a player before, so he's got all these women who keep coming on to him, and he feels absolutely nothing because of the fact that he can't relate to them. And it was a really quite a bizarre sitcom because he was in this flat with three other friends,
Yeah.
and they didn't know that he was dead. So it was a really bizarre thing. But as I say, that was the first thing I ever saw him in. So when I'm seeing him in this and he's being deathly serious and sort of like, trying to be hard, I just found it a bit, a bit like, I don't know if I could take him seriously. Um, but again, as I say, I think that's why I thought it was a much better film than I really thought it would be.
Yeah, the David O'Hara character, it,
Yeah.
it felt he's turned out to be a killer, right? I mean, but I felt like, okay, the lead actress, is she gonna be safe around him? But he turned into like, I guess, a paternal figure or something.
Yeah. I mean, the
But I,
story.
I was trying to understand his motivation. He was just
Yeah.
there as a job. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing. That was his motivation.
Yeah. Pretty much it seemed to be it. It was just sort of like
Yeah.
they paid me, I come here and do what they've
But
asked
there's
me
no
to do.
conflict.
You know,
I'm like, okay, is he gonna do something? Is he gonna do something to her? Is she gonna? But nothing happens. I'm like,
no,
okay, so it's just like a best
no.
friend or
And it was
paternal
like
father.
the other guy who was the one who mysteriously died because he shot the other bloke, David
You mean
O'Hara
the religious man?
just shot him. No, not the religious man. When they went out to the gate,
Yeah.
the other one who got shot.
Oh, the other scientist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be the one that was going to be the kind of wisecrack sort of
Yeah.
guy because he seemed extra to everything.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. In the end, he didn't at all. He didn't really do much at all.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Like the religious blogger, I guess. Why was he on the mission? I was trying to figure that out. I mean, if you're
Yeah,
going to go on a mission to save, I mean, in the end, it wasn't that. Maybe I was thinking, okay, they purposely put him on there to amp up the religious vibe for the rest of the population. I
I
don't know.
don't. I don't think it was properly explained because it seemed that all of that they were doing, he was blogging about it
Yeah,
and putting stuff on social media about what
yeah,
they were doing, and what they were doing was being filmed and beamed back
right.
to
In
everyone
real
on
time,
Earth.
supposedly,
on
but yeah,
on TikTok or something like that, probably. But that wasn't really explained properly. It wasn't really gone into in any depth. So it
nope.
didn't really mean anything to the story. So as you say, he was a bit kind of extra to needs, and he just sort of served
Yeah,
the
he turned
purpose of
he
being the religious nut who went a bit mental.
Yeah, he turned into that crazy captain in Sunshine or Sam Neill in Event Horizon, I guess. That's what I was thinking when I was watching his character.
Yeah, yes. The other thing was he reminded me of the bass player from System of a Down. So when once he'd got into the thing and stripped himself off and he had all the symbols sort of carved over him and that sort of thing, he looked like somebody from a heavy metal band. It was just
I just think, you're going on a space mission. Would he pass the psych test?
yeah, yeah.
That's why I was like, that's not realistic. But I
And
guess
then
if
you
this
had
corporation is the one who was funding this, they purposely put him on there because he is a nut.
then you had the other woman the other female scientist who was seemed to be there. She is the sort of she was the kind of the character who'd be wearing a red shirt in Star Trek.
Oh, you mean the Asian actress?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she seemed to be there
she's the
purely and
red
simply to be
shirt
killed.
character. Yeah,
She would be there just to be killed.
yeah.
There was no
Yeah.
other reason. for her to be there really because she didn't do much else.
Yeah, I didn't even realize she was a scientist. And then she died so quickly. I'm going, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but she was definitely the red shirt
yeah. She
character
was
for me.
definitely the red shirt, I'm like, okay. I mean, they try to get a multiracial cast, I guess.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But no, it's definitely. I think what I would say is it's worth watching.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
definitely worth watching. Yeah.
flaws and bits we can pick apart in aside. It's got a good story and it's got good effects and it's worth
Mhm.
sitting down and having a watch. It's not a long film either, really. So it's definitely worth having a look at.
Yeah, and the sound design was amazing. As a
Absolutely,
filmmaker, I
yeah.
focus on sound a lot, and I thought the sound design was just spectacular.
Yeah, no, it really was. There was some really good effects, sound effects, and music effects, and that sort of thing that were really
Hmm.
well done. Okay, thank you very much. So let's see what we got. I can't remember what I'm doing here. The Patriarch, which we thought was a good film. AI possibly it was okay. There were some flaws, but it was all in all it wasn't too bad. I Want to Believe, which was a good short comedy sci-fi film worth watch, and then Deus: The Dark Sphere, which had its flaws and things, but on the whole was a good film with some good effects, good soundtrack, and worth checking out.
I agree.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you.
Can I ask, what are you working on anything new or anything coming up for you?
I'm working on the sequel to Staycation or Apocalypse Death Party right now, where I'm dealing with an accountant for the budget. So
Okay.
breaking it down right now.
So when
We
would you
we
like
want to
to
shoot in
start?
the summer, and it
Okay.
would be where I live in the Los Angeles area. So
Okay.
yeah.
So you're looking at it being finished and out sometime next year?
I would say the year after that
Year
because
after.
it's
Okay.
going to be more amped up from the first film. The first film is a zombie horror, so we're talking more zombies, more effects. I mean, it's going to be a lot of posts. So yeah.
Cool. No, that sounds good. I look forward to watching that, definitely. Okay. Thank you very, very much for helping me and being on the show.
Thank you.
And good luck with Staycation and Staycation 2. So,
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
it's no problem at all. Okay. So, thanks to everybody for watching. I will put links up to all these films as I always do, and I will also put links up to Staycation and other things for Russell Emanuel, and you can check out his stuff as well. So, thanks, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. The Sciforror Film Podcast.